welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience in Geology Field Camp. Today we're joined by my Niger Euromastix cinnabar. Cinnabar is appropriate since that is a mineral and I'm talking about geology. As you know from previous videos in my channel, I have a geology degree, so along with my animals and my paleontology background, I also like rocks. So today I'm going to talk about going to field camp. So field camp is horrible, let's just put it that way, but also great. So you're there, you hate it, you see cool things, and then you leave and all you want to do is rave about it. So it's this weird thing that you have to do as a geologist. So I went to Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. As you know, I love their geology program. Their field program is top-notch, very great. If you're trying to get a Bachelor's of Science in geology, you have to take it. It's optional if you're doing the Bachelor of Arts degree, but I recommend that you take it with whatever geology degree you're getting. It's not limited to SIU people. We actually had other students from other universities join us. So it's kind of open to whoever needs a geology program. Lots of schools have their own geology thing. Some schools do it differently. Some schools do it where they spread out different field excursions over several months where you just go like for a week at a time. This particular one, you go for 6 straight weeks and do everything. For most people, you do it between junior and senior year since you have most of your courses under your belt. I was weird since I had to take my zoology degree classes at the same time as my geology. I kind of took things out of order. So I wound up doing it after I was done with everything. So it was my last class of undergrad. I strongly recommend that you take the mapping class if they still offer it. It wasn't a requirement, it was just an added class you could take that, you know, just helps you better understand mapping and how to draw maps. I didn't take it. To be honest, I was a wonderful geologist. I am great at calculations. I am great at academia. I sucked at mapping, and I really wish I had taken that class before I went. I think that would have helped. I got mostly A's in geology. My one of 2 B's or whatever I got was field camp. So I recommend doing the mapping class. I also recommend, since I did it out of order, it probably doesn't really apply to other people, but I took structural geology really early in my geology career. That was a mistake. I really should have taken that when normal people take it, and it would have been fresh in my memory. That probably also led to my demise as a B student in field camp. If you just take the classes like you're supposed to in order, if you're just a geology student, you probably already have it fresh in your memory for camp, but if not, I recommend that you do take it right before camp. So yeah, so field camp, you map a lot. You also learn about so many different things. So you do sedimentology, igneous and metamorphic petrology. We go to mines. There's some paleontology, mostly invertebrate stuff. Basically, you're seeing everything from the Archean all the way to the Cenozoic, so everything. We did glacial geology, obviously structural geology, so faults and stuff like that, strikes at things I'm not a structural person, let's be real. I am a sedimentology and paleontology person. I probably dumped most of that, sorry professors, out of my head. So I'm probably just gonna put pictures of my experience at camp. I didn't include any pictures with my friends that I made there just because I didn't get their permission, so I really want to post other people's images on the internet. So it's just gonna be me and then the things I saw and, some of my highlights, I guess. If you went to SIU, you likely drove from Carbondale all the way to Montana. And that was a very long drive. You stopped at a hotel halfway there-ish. Yeah, that was long and tiring. Other people flew in to Billings, Montana, and then we picked them up, and then we went to Red Lodge where we were staying. We were staying at the YBRA, or the Yellowstone Bighorn Research Association. It's a very famous camp for field camps. So many different groups use it. It's a lot of historical groups and aspects to it. It was pretty neat. You stay in cabins. We did stay in tents for 1 week because there was a camp that came in, so they took our cabin. Anywho, but most of the time we stayed in cabins that were bunk beds. It was pretty nice. They had actual bathrooms and showers and, amenities. They cook you homemade food, so that's pretty good. You had food available to make your lunches. It was really nice thing up there. Lots of good views up there. So we were in Red Lodge, Montana for about half of it or most of it. We did a lot of mapping in the areas, the Beartooth region / the Bighorn Basin. A lot of mapping, a lot of climbing because it's mountainous. The first couple days we called the Death March, and let me tell you how close to death I was. I have asthma, and I didn't really exercise before field camp, which was a mistake. I had gone on a paleontology dig for like a week, so I was like, ooh, I'm set for field camp. No. If you guys are going to field camp this summer and it's Christmas, like you see with my tree in the background, start exercising now. Don't do it right before camp. You're gonna be screwed. So please do your exercise. Anyway, so I'm not fit. I have asthma. It was horrible. I had like jelly legs. I was like breathing horribly because you're also in the mountains, so you have the whole oxygen difference. It was horrible. I had a horrible time. But I pushed through. They actually asked me if I wanted to turn around because a couple other people couldn't make up the mountain. And I'm like, heck no, I'm paying for this camp. I'm going up that mountain. So I went all the way up. It took forever to get down. Probably it's my fault. I'm sorry, guys, if you're watching this from my field camp and I was one of the people holding you back. Sorry. I wanted to see everything, though. If you have asthma or if you have other disabilities or if you are out of shape, get in shape and try your best. And if they tell you to turn around and you want to keep going, dude, you keep going. Unless it's like going to affect your health in any negative way. Do it. It's a great experience. Go up the mountain. So there was classroom time. So at the YB there was a classroom that we did some lessons in and we did a couple tests in there. Otherwise, most of it was out in the field. They had like a big dry erase board and, you know, they wrote down all the notes and you took notes in your notebooks. Make sure you get those right in the rain yellow notebook. For most of the things, I kind of randomly assigned you people. I think for one, we got to pick our own teams. I don't remember. But you were assigned a partner or a group of people. And for the most part, I had a great experience. My first one, however, because I, you know, have asthma and I couldn't climb things very fast, and they actually yelled at me in the field and I got into the van and cried. And I was like, why am I at field camp? I'm being yelled at for, you know, not being able to climb things. But after that, I had a bunch of really understanding group members for different projects, so it cleared out. So if you have one, like, jerk that's trying to ruin your camp, don't let it get you down. You're gonna get a better person later. Made a few friends from different schools. It was really cool. I got closer to other people that I had in my classes at SIU, so it was a really great experience for the social aspect. People kind of made their own little cliques, and that was okay. I had a clique of good people. Other cliques, I'm sure, had great times. So yeah, you find your little tribe there, and that's good for like on the days off where you can do just kind of whatever. You had a nice little group to hang out with. That was pretty fun. And then if you got to choose, or if you got randomly placed with your friend, you're like, yeah. So I recommend you get and bring your own hammer. I actually had my dad's hammers. He has a degree in archaeology, so I had his old hammers, which was kind of fun. Make sure you get a good hat. Get a hat that has a rim all the way around it. Had a Tilly hat. It worked out really nice. I used it for paleontology digs. It was a wonderful hat. Other people had just baseball caps, but then you get the sunburn on the back of your neck and, you know, it's no fun. So I recommend the hats that have a rim on them. They actually yelled at us that, you know, we wouldn't be able to go out in the field if we didn't have a hat. And one time I left my hat in my cabin and I literally made a hat out of a bag. So make sure you bring your hats. Like, it's a big deal. I brought my own Brunton compass. You don't have to do that. They provide the Bruntons. It was just nice that I knew that I wouldn't have to pay for it if I broke it. But also I had my own, so like, you know, it was always on me. I always had it. It's kind of pricey, so make sure you plan that in your, you know, tuition or whatever you're doing. There are scholarships you can get from your schools. There is a stipend that if you chose to drive the vans, they would take some sort of discount. I didn't do that because I was scared of driving big cars, which joke's on me. I drive a truck now, so I don't know why I didn't do that to save money. Another thing, if you are a big souvenir person, bring money. I bought a ton of souvenirs, let's be real. There's a lot of different places that you go to that either on your days off or the second half of field camp where you go to different national parks. I spent a lot of money. So make sure you bring money if you're a person like me that likes their stuff. This tree behind me is actually all my national park ornaments, and I think half of them are from field camp. So like, bring money. Also bring an extra bag. I actually had to buy another bag because of all the rocks I got. Don't take rocks from national parks. That's I think illegal, but don't do it because it's not right. But from other places where you could take rocks, I brought a lot of rocks home, like a lot of rocks home. So if you're a rock person, which I imagine if you're a geologist you are, bring a bag. Otherwise you're gonna be buying a bag. Like, because I had a comedically large amount of rocks that I brought home. Like my dad was like, why'd you bring home like 200 pounds of rocks? He wasn't joking. I would also recommend bringing a first aid kit. Obviously they have stuff there, but I wound up spraining my wrist on something, which that doesn't bother me too bad. I just had to wrap it in something. And then I got like big gashes on me. I had bug bites. I had a lot of stuff in my bag because I'm a hypochondriac. And so people actually came to me to get their splinters out and give them bandages and stuff like that. So anyway, just bring a first aid kit. It's good to have, and then you'll be that nurse, I guess, for your team. Another big question people usually had was about clothing. I brought probably too much. I would probably bring less next time. I was like that typical geologist with like the, you know, flannel for days, and I had it for days. You just need like a week of clothing. We do get to go wash them every now and then, but I packed like it was the end of the world and I'll never wash things again. So, you know, pack a little bit lighter, but not too light. I would pack a lot of long sleeve things so you don't get burnt. Make sure you bring lots of containers for water. A lot of people have those bladder bags. You know, I personally don't like them, but like a lot of people like them. You wind up dragging your mouthpiece through dirt and stuff like that, and it's not sanitary. So I just had a bunch of different jugs with me. Make sure you bring a lot because you will get dehydrated. Make sure you bring snacks if you're a person that, you know, gets lightheaded easily. During one of the death marches, I got super lightheaded, and luckily one of the leaders had, what they had like Tang or Gatorade or something, and so I had to take that because I was getting like super dehydrated. So make sure you stay hydrated, drink lots of water, bring lots of water. So the second half of camp, or the last third, I don't know how long it was, is the best part of camp because you're still doing projects and stuff like that, but you're doing the sightseeing part. So you're going like up into the Beartooth Mountains, you go see Yellowstone, you go see Glacier National Park, we went through the Grand Tetons, we saw a campsite that was devastated by an earthquake a long time ago. We went to my favorite national park, which I'm gonna talk to you in a minute about because it's gonna get its whole section, because I would have never known about this place had it not been for field camp. So like there's a lot of fun things to do. If you have days off, you get to go just hang out and do sightseeing and other stuff. Like we went swimming in the Grand Tetons, you know, lake that's in front of it. It was super fun. Another cool thing was that we were there for 4th of July. We were part of a parade with the YBRA, so we got t-shirts and got to go on a float and wave our hands in Red Lodge. It was really fun. And then actually a lot of people, I thought I was gonna be the only one, but a lot of people's family and friends actually came up to Red Lodge and spent the weekend with them. So I had my lovely Matt come visit me, and we actually went to Yellowstone. That was my first time going to Yellowstone, then I went later on with camp. And I'm glad that I did because I saw a lot more than what I did with camp. So if you're looking for like a huge Yellowstone adventure with field camp, you're probably not going to get it, but you'll see a lot still. Okay, so my favorite national park that I would have never known about had it not been field camp is Craters of the Moon. If you don't know what Craters of the Moon is, Google it. It's an amazing park. It's basically a lava flow area. It erupts every 2,000 years, so it's, you know, ready to go again. Just basically a lot of lava tubes. It's like this whole weird, I guess lunar, because Craters of the Moon, landscape where it's just like this barren, black, wavy, crusty looking national park. Legitimately the coolest thing ever. I don't know why I love this place so much, but it's still my favorite national park to this day. I've been to a lot of national parks. That tree is full of ornaments from national parks. That is my favorite one. I love Craters of the Moon. So yeah, you get to see a bunch of random things that you didn't think you'd fall in love with. I, in no way, shape, or form, study volcanoes or igneous rocks, but man, that is like my favorite national park. Something fun that I personally did was I brought with this guy. He's a Dimetrodon, and I took pictures of him at the various locations that we were mapping or visiting. And I had a little hashtag for Facebook. I did stories of the sightseeing synapsid because it's not a dinosaur, it's a synapsid, so it's a mammal-like organism. So, not dinosaur, just so you know. So I did that. That was super cool. I liked having like this little thing to take with me. I think people have flat Stanleys or whatever they're called. So it's kind of like that. That made the trip kind of fun, so I had to pose in different spots depending on where I'm at. At the end of field camp, I was the fittest I've ever been in my entire life. Like, legitimately. So I have asthma, as I just said. It was, like, gone by the end of those 6 weeks. Like, I was climbing, like a little mountain goat, all the way up to things. Didn't even bring my inhaler with me. Like, it was insane. I've never, like, had my lungs function so properly in my entire life. Now I'm back to being, you know, huffing and puffing if I go upstairs. But, you know, back then, it was really cool. And I was super tan, and I was super, like, buff. Like, I was still, like, a scrawny, you know, twig like I am, but, like, I had, like, abs. Like, it was, like, great. So, if you're looking for a good exercise routine, go to Geology Field Camp. You will feel so good about yourself. The only problem is I had, like, so many things wrong with my pores. Like, I had pimples and stuff like that, because dirt is, like, your life at field camp. Like, even though there's showers and stuff, you can't get the dirt off, necessarily. So, you know, besides that, you got really healthy looking. So yeah, make sure you wear sunscreen. You're gonna be out, like, baking in the sun for hours on end. So yeah, Field camp is this horribly wonderful experience. If you're at SIU, you're gonna do it anyway, so enjoy. If you're not at SIU and looking for a program to do it at, check out SIU's program. It's really great, life-changing experience. Thanks for listening to my take on the geology field camp that I went to at SIU. Hopefully you consider that one if you're not at SIU. Like and subscribe if you like what I like. Rocks and animals. See you later. Today we're joined by my Nigerian... Ooh, person's gonna fall down. Bye, Cinnabar. He's on the go. Not gonna work with me as soon as I go to talk? Why are you trying to jump off my shoulders? Right in the way, right in the way. Make sure you wear your sunscreen though, because don't get cancer. Why are my cats fighting in the background?